Let's do a little bit of cultural anthropology today by looking at some bridge pencils. Hello everyone. A look today at some bridge pencils. These were produced by Koh-I-Noor sometime in the last century, maybe up to or maybe slightly after the midpoint of the 20th century. And like other bridge pencils, these are in size a bit smaller than your average pencil. We have a standard sized Ticonderoga on the right. We have the bridge pencils on the left. You can see a significant size difference. And how do I know these are bridge pencils? Well, this size of pencil that is smaller than the average pencil in diameter is generally called a bridge pencil because of its size. They tended to be this size for some perhaps murky reasons, but these also say bridge on them in quotation marks. And it looks like, is that a diamond in between the Koh-I-Noor? That would make sense. Diamond Koh-I-Noor. Koh-I-Noor being the name of a famous diamond excavated in India, I believe, and in residence now in England. We have a product number of 432 on these. These come in two colors. I believe they may have come in other colors. Bridge pencils tended to come in sets. Often they would be 4 different specimens within the set, and sometimes they will have a distinctive cap on the end that would have a suit, clubs, diamonds, etc., to let you know that they were bridge pencils. These are in a hex shape, and they have a nice pen striping. The corners of the hex are white, while the flats are green and pink. And again, there were probably other colors in this set. These are the only two I have come across to date. Found these in the Koh-I-Noor section of my pencil collection and didn't think I'd discuss these yet in a video. I'm not sure I've gone through that particular box yet, as I've been trying to make my way through my collection to see what is there. I've reached the point where I have more than I can remember or am aware of. So these surprises happen. So brass ferrule, kind of an upscale looking ferrule, obviously designed for this smaller pencil, but it has a unique design on it. They're crimped on, the erasers are blackened, but probably were a standard red or pink eraser. This one needs a fresh sharpen on it. You can see that whatever sharpen they have has probably been like this for decades because of the discoloration of the wood. I think I'll leave it like that as part of my collection because these are unlikely to be used in day-to-day writing. Bridge pencils. Why are bridge pencils this size? Why the smallness? Do a little cultural anthropology. Imagine yourself in the distant future and looking at the mid-20th century by examining the artifacts, and you might think that, well, if you knew anything about bridge, and from what I understand of it, it's a card game primarily played by folks of a certain age and primarily by women of a certain age. Now, there are certainly men bridge players, though some of them may be held against their will in bridge related events by their maybe held hostage by their wives. Not certain. I've never played bridge. I couldn't tell you the first thing about it other than it involves cards and pencils. So there must be some scorekeeping going on because you see bridge pencils made by a lot of different companies. So what might you say about human anatomy looking at these? We have the standard pencil used by both sexes about equally. You have the bridge pencil, if the stereotypes are accurate, primarily women and women over a certain age. And then if you look at what types of pencils are used by primarily men, you get something like this. Are there more male bridge players than there are female carpenters? I don't know. But the numeric preponderance for carpentry is men. The numeric preponderance for bridge players is probably female, though a less pronounced majority maybe than carpentry. There are certainly exceptions to the rule, so don't feel the need to argue with me. I'm not being sexist in my pencil collection. Just a funny thing. So you might say, okay, does this mean men have significantly larger hands than women? Do men have significantly poorer fine motor skills than women? Maybe some combination of the two. But then you look at things like pencils designed for young children who have very small hands. Why is the pencil big for a small-handed writer? So many questions. Just something to ruminate on today as I looked at these bridge pencils. Let's see, what else? Koh-I-Noor. These were made from the U.S. branch of Koh-I-Noor. Let's give them a try just to see how they write after all this time. Again, probably have a sharpen on them that was put on there decades ago and has never been freshened up in all those years. Not a particularly dark graphite. I'm going to say even softer than a number 2. I don't know if they're both like this. Maybe I would get a different result if I sharpened the point, if I freshened it up a little bit. I suppose just jotting down scores or whatever one does in a bridge game doesn't require any specific type of graphite, certainly not one that's soft as you would need for marking lumber for cutting. Did I really need to make a video about 2 bridge pencils I found? Sure, I mean, those of you who are still watching, you're still watching. Thanks for exploring the cultural history of hand size and the American pencil with me. And I hope to see you here again next time.